Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Casey, where we talk about market conditions, what's going on. Big show. This is a tale of two markets. You know, we say that sellers can do be in one of two places. They can either go into the mud, which means they're stuck on the market for a long period of time, subject to buyer controls or whatever the buyers want, home inspections, long listing periods, or they're in the jet stream, which means the home sells in the first 7 days, multiple contracts, bidding over list price, no home inspection, smooth transaction. That is what we call the jet stream. Currently, we only have about 16% of the market in the jet stream, which means 84% of the market, the people that are listing their house currently, are stuck in the mud. Now, we're going to talk about it today and how to stay out of the mud, but it's clearly the market is changing. So let's take a look at some of the charts. So basically, the success rate is how many homes listed sell within that first 7 days, right? How many of them get multiple contracts, no home inspections, clean as a whistle contracts that go to settlement with backups and rent backs, where a seller can actually rent the house back after settlement. So currently, our houses, again, are still sitting at about 97% of them achieve that, the gold standard listings. But in Fairfax County, only 14% of the homes actually sell in the first week without contingencies. In Arlington, it's 10%, 12% for Loudoun, and 10% in Prince William County. Now, what this tells me is 90% of the sellers are stuck in the mud, which means realtors are stuck in the mud. So in looking at this chart with the success rates, it's really shocking. Now, let me show you what the success rate was in May of this year. So in May of 2024, homes were 75% of the homes sold in the first week without contingencies. Pretty solid market. That's the chart you see in green. The chart you see in red is today's market. So you can see how low we've gotten, where we're headed. Now let's compare that. Again, the red is this year. The green is October of last year. So this is not just a seasonal thing. 50% of the homes went under contract last year in October in the first 7 days, and they were considered in the jet stream. Currently, 16% on average. Now, this is a dramatic change. So the market is changing, right? And we have to respond to the market. But let me tell you what's going to happen. Tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to go to a top producer seminar, if you will. It's going to be 300-400 agents. There'll be a lot of people speaking and talking, a lot of interesting stuff for realtors. But let me tell you what the biggest topics are going to be, okay? And I can predict it right now. How do you get clients? Where do you find clients? Does Zillow produce clients? Cost per client? New technology, how to track clients. Do you know that there will be minimal, that will talk about how to sell a house and keep it in the jet stream? Now, I have to be honest with you. I'm going to be frustrated. And I'm going to pray to God. I'm one of the moderators. I'm not moderator. I'm in one of the panels. God, wait till they get a load of what I got to say. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm a little frustrated with the industry that every time we go to seminars, all we hear about is how to get clients, new technology. When in fact, what we should be talking about is how do we get the damn homes sold instead of 16% being in the jet stream and 84% being in the mud. Why don't realtors and top producers focus on what are the techniques you use? What are the pricing techniques you use to make sure the price is correct? Where's the predictive analysis? Where's the preparing the homes? Where's the contract negotiations? I will tell you, there will be not many things talked about those issues. And it does frustrate me. And I'll tell you why it frustrates me. Because I take this personal. I got in the business because I thought people needed help. It was back in 2007. There were people going bankrupt and losing houses and foreclosures and short sales. And it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So I got into selling because I saw a lot of people really getting hurt, losing a lot of money. I left the management side and went back into selling and went back into listing homes, and handling transactions, handling short sales, getting people out of the mess that we were in. It was a horrible mess back in 2007. And I've taken that all the way through to today. We make sure that if a home is going on the market, it's going to sell in 7 days. If it doesn't, whistles go off, bells go off, red lights go off. We've got a fire on our hands. And thank goodness, 90% of the people that we talk to do exactly what we ask them to do. They all experience the jet stream. They all get an average of $80,000 over list price. They all sell within the first week. They all don't have home inspections. They don't have contingencies. Most have rent backs. You know, it's a very pleasant experience. But I will tell you, you have to perfect the art of selling a house. So what they're going to talk about is the social media presence and how to go out and how to target and how to buy listings from Zillow and how to get clients from that. Our whole secret, and let me tell you something, we will this year, and this is not a bragging thing. This is just there's a right way and a wrong way to do things way. So we're going to hit $200 million with about 12 agents. 12. There are teams that will have 50 agents, 50 that may do 100 million on 50 agents. We're going to do 200 on 12. And all they're going to talk about is how they get their clients, how they procure their clients, where they get them, how they buy them, what's the biggest bang for buck. Our whole model is different. Our model is get listing, sell listing, get great deal for seller, tell everybody about that sale. That's our deal. Our sellers send us most of our business. And what doesn't come from the sellers will come from the cluster of homes that saw what we just did. You really put a house on for 1.6 and got 1.75? You really put a house on for 1.8 and got $2 million? Really? You really put a house on for 850 and got 950? You put a house on for 975 and got $1,095,000? Really? In the first weekend? Really? Yeah, because that's what we work on. So most teams will bring agents on and tell them how they can get them leads, provide them leads that they can do more transactions. Our team is about providing tools. So our pricing tool, pricing is critical. If you put on a right price, the world will beat a path to your door. You'll get multiple contracts. You'll stay in the jet stream. You won't have a home inspection if you do it properly. So the pricing is important. The preparing the home. Most homes are going out in horrible condition with horrible pictures. So one of the keys, I think, the success of our group has been, the younger people came in, Morgan, Kelly, Billy, all these, Ferris and Johnny, and what looked okay to me, a 65-year-old or a 60-year-old person, doesn't look okay to them. They're the buyers. The paint doesn't look right. The lighting fixtures aren't right. How we prepare a house in a more transitional look as opposed to traditional, that was the key. That was the key, that the homes look fresh. The homes look transitional. The homes look great. The declutter is gone. The pictures are perfect. The reels, which is today's market, look awesome. The marketing targets people not looking in that market area. They're targeting people that look in areas that are much more expensive. If you're in Vienna, target people looking at McLean. Those houses are $400,000 more expensive. If you're in Haymarket, target people in Vienna and Oakton. Your homes are $500,000 less out there than they are here, right? So there's a protocols. So our team supplies tools and protocols. The tools are the pricing, the pricing engines that we have, the predictive analysis we do, but the protocols are what's cool. How do you use the tools to effectuate a sale in the first 7 days? I'll tell you something that's come to mind. The smartest sellers we have. In other words, let me not say smartest. Let me say the people that have the most experience buying and selling real estate. Okay. They're the ones that get hurt the most, right? They're the ones that don't listen. So if 9 out of 10 listen to us, these are mostly people that don't sell their house once every 10, 12, 15, 20 years. They don't have experience in real estate. So they're like, whatever you say to do, that's what we're going to do. But I can tell you the listings that clog up that don't sell in the first week are because some of the sellers have a lot of experience in real estate. And they think, or they remember markets that are not there today. Again, I've just gone over the difference between May and October. In May, it was a whole different market. 75% of the houses were under contract in the first 7 days. October, that's not so. It's just not so. It's a different market. So their memories may be from 2019, 2017, 2015, 2021, 2022. But that's changed. Things change. And I will tell you that the two pebbles I have in my shoe are from the most experienced, or the people that have the most real estate experience that are in our portfolio. So when it comes time to sell, you really don't understand the market conditions. Just relax and let the professionals do it. If somebody knows what they're doing, let them do it. There's no excuse for 16% of the homes going under contract in the first week. There's no excuse for that. I don't even know what people are thinking. And I will be honest with you, I'm going to be upset when I go out to this meeting, and I'm going to try and keep my composure, but everybody's going to talk about the success. When I can look at the computer, I'm looking at it. 15% of your homes are under contract. Success? Maybe success because you have 50 agents and you're getting a ton of leads, but closing them, it's like a coach saying, I've been coaching for 20 years, but your team is 2-8. It doesn't matter how long you've coached. It only matters how successful you are for your clients. So let me say this. Let me give you some advice. If you have a neighbor, it is critical that that neighbor in your neighborhood use somebody that has an incredible track record, whether it's us or somebody else. And by the way, I'll talk about what happens if you have friends and family outside of the area, but let's talk about your neighbors. Why is it critical that your neighbor get the right realtor? Well, they're your comps. I can't tell you how many times neighbors call me and go, thank God, what did you get for that house? What did you get for that house? That's all you want to know. What did you get for that house? If you price it wrong and it sits on the market for 40 days, 60 days, it's going to go into what's called a death spiral of price. And eventually they're going to sell for less, have a big bill for home inspection. So what we do is they'll have a concession for $20,000, $30,000 on the home inspection. That will show up on the MLS. That will show up on your house's pricing model. So if somebody is in the neighborhood and they have an unsuccessful sale, it does hurt you. It will hurt your home's value. It is imperative that if your neighbor is selling their house, you have to make sure. And again, maybe in May, you can sell from your family, friends, or neighbors. Maybe. Not today. Not today. You have to be with a professional. You have to be with somebody that really knows what they're doing. I mean, really, really good. And I don't mean really good in May. I mean really good today. Last 90 days. How many homes have gone under contract? What's your time period? Give me your track record, last 90 days. Forget about May. Forget about how much business they've done since 2000. It's a different world. It's a different market. I can tell you the most experienced agents sometimes struggle because their ways were the best, but that's over 20 years. And in some cases, many agents, a success to them is getting clients off the listing. The listing sits on the market. They do open houses every weekend. Their model, on top of getting internet clients, their model is provide open houses to their agents. Perfect example. I went into a listing. Listing was worth $1.4 million. I said it's worth $1.4 million and we need to test that number. And the seller told me he was not going to take a dollar less than $2 million. $600,000 over the list price. So I kind of was feeling out whether this, what this was. And he said, no, this house is worth $2 million. I'm not taking a penny less. So at that point, I just, there's no sense in dragging that out. So I closed my computer. I went to the Vienna Inn. I had a few pops and all was forgiven and all was forgotten. The house sat on the market for a year. Agent by agent came in. Some of the biggest teams in Northern Virginia came in and listed that house. And it sat open Saturday and Sunday for months. Months. Now, that's fine. That's part of their business model. Not a part of my business model. Not a part of the Casey Samson Team business model. So, I just have a disagreement. I think Chink should be in. I don't want my sign in the yard more than a month. I don't want to have it out there. I want to tell all your neighbors I sold your house at a premium. That's what I want to tell them. I want to tell them you had no home inspection. I want to tell them that my seller is happy as hell and they've just given us big props. Now, nobody's going to listen to what I have to say on Friday. Trust me. What they want to listen to is how do we get more leads on Realtor.com, on the internet, on Zillow. How do I get more leads? That's really where people will take notes. They won't take notes on how to sell a house. They won't take notes from people that do $200 million with 12 agents. And no sour grapes, but that's just where it is. That's why 16% of the homes are currently under contract in the first 7 days. And that I have a problem. I'm telling you, try and remain calm. Some of the agents that will be in that thing, listen to this podcast. Some good agents listen to this podcast, big ones. The biggest team has their agents listen to this. So if I have any advice for anyone, it is a focus on price, prepping the home, doing a predictive analysis, having the proper negotiation strategy, and finishing this thing off and getting them done within 6-7 days. That's my best advice you can have. That's the focus that everyone should have. If you're selling your house, don't be intimidated that only 16% are going under contract. 97% of ours are still going under contract. I wouldn't worry about it. We don't worry about it. We have 2 houses launching this weekend. Both will be under contract. Now get this. In their markets, only 10% of the homes sell in the first 7 days. Both, no problem, 100% guarantee. They're going under contract. They'll get bid up. They'll have no home inspections on either one of those houses. Protocol. We provide tools and protocol, and they work. Now, so that's enough. That's enough with my Coffee with Casey lectures. I'm going to give you guys a behind the scenes of what's about to happen. Okay, in Vienna, and not many people are interested in real estate. Man, if you're buying or selling, maybe you have an interest, but very few people have an interest in real estate. Let me tell you what they do have an interest in: Christmas, right? A lot of people. Everybody's got kids. They all want Morgan and Colby's mom, Tree, are putting together a Christmas spectacular in the office. That's why I'm in my office here at the house. They're completing it, getting it all wrapped up and all finished. It's going to be a Christmas spectacular you won't believe. If your clients are listeners of A Coffee with Casey, please reach out. You can send me an email and say, I want to get in. There's going to be a long line. I mean, it's going to be hard to get in. It's basically, we'll have a couple of client events. We will have some open houses. We'll have some pop-ups. But if you have kids, you are going to want to get into this Christmas spectacular. I think they're calling it just the Casey Samson Team Christmas. And it is the damnest thing I've ever seen. There's a Harry Potter room. I mean, literally a Harry Potter room. There's the Cat in the Hat tree. There's a Renaissance tree that I could stand and look at ornaments for 20 minutes. They're so spectacular. There's a Star Wars tree and a Patriot tree and there's everything. There's a cat in the hat tree. They got a candy tree. There'll be thousands of dollars of candy under a tree, and kids will be able to pick up candy. Alice in Wonderland tree. It goes on. There's the Grinch. You walk in and the Grinch is climbing up a chimney. It's the damnest thing you'll ever see. It will be the talk of the town. If you are in the area, if you're a listener of Coffee with Casey, drop me a line and I'll keep you in a list and make sure that you get into at least preview, or you'll be first up when it comes time to sign up for pop-ups. So anyways, you've been listening to Coffee with Casey, where I'm talking about the tale of two markets. 86% of the people that are trying to sell their house will be stuck in the mud. 14% in the jet stream, no problem, no worries. No worries. You need to know which side you fall on. You need to make sure this is not May. This is October 2024. Prices are still high. Sellers can still sell their house. If people are looking to move up, sell your existing house. Move up. Perfect time. Did I mention 84% of the homes don't sell in the first week? Do you know what that means? Buyers have control. If I was ever going to move up, now's the time to do it. Rates are relatively low. Tons of inventory. If you're thinking of moving up, now's your opportunity. Between now and probably April of next year, it's a great time to do it. You've been listening to Coffee with Casey. My name is Casey Samson. If you're looking for me or you want to get on that list, Casey@CaseySamson.com, or you can text me 703-508-2535. Today we talked about your neighbors. Your neighbors need to know how to get their house sold on time for a maximum price, because that benefits you, right? Their comps are your house. We'll see you again next week on Coffee with Casey. Bye now.